Hello students, in this video I will teach you chapter number 6 from Beehive. The name of the chapter is My Childhood. Now this chapter is about Abdul Kalam's life. So I'll begin with reading the summary and explain it to you. Abdul Kalam was born in a middle class Muslim family in Rameshwaram. So there is a place named Rameshwaram where Abdul Kalam was born, and he was born in a Muslim family. He had 3 brothers and 1 sister, which means they were 5 kids. His father was a generous and wise man. His mother was a hospitable lady. So both the parents were very sweet and they were very kind. They lived in an ancestral house on Mosque Street. So they lived in a house which was situated in a street named the Mosque Street. His father lived a simple life but provided all necessities to children. So they did not live a luxurious life. They lived a simple life, and everything that was needed for the kids was given to them, all the necessary things. His parents were neither much educated nor rich. So Abdul Kalam's parents were not much educated and they were not too rich also, yet were generous and kind. But still, even though they were not educated, they were not rich, but still they were very sweet and they were very kind. Many outsiders ate with the family every day. Kalam inherited the qualities of honesty and self-discipline from his parents. So there were other people who used to eat in their house with their family every day, but Kalam had those qualities of honesty and self-discipline from his parents. He learnt it. Kalam was only 8 years old when the Second World War broke out in 1939. So the Second World War took place in 1939, and that time Abdul Kalam was only 8 years old. Then there was great demand of tamarind seeds, and during the World War there was great demand of tamarind seeds. Tamarind is imli. Abdul used to collect those seeds and sell them in the market. His cousin Shamsuddin distributed newspapers and employed him as a helping hand. This way he earned his first wages. He inherited faith in goodness and kindness from his parents. So, during the World War, tamarind seeds were in need. Abdul Kalam used to sell those seeds, and his cousin Shamsuddin used to distribute newspapers. So this way he had earned his first money. Abdul Kalam had gotten the qualities of goodness and kindness from his parents. Kalam's family respected all religions. They took part in the Hindu festivals. His mother and grandmother told stories from the Ramayana and the life of the Prophet to the children at bedtime. So Kalam's family, even though they were Muslims, but they also believed all the other religions. They used to take part and celebrate Hindu festivals also. And at night, during the bedtime, Abdul Kalam's mother and grandmother, they used to tell them stories about Ramayana. Kalam had 3 friends: Ramananda Shastri, the son of a high priest of the Rameshwaram temple, Aravindam, and Siva Prakashan. So he had 3 friends, and the name of the first friend that was mentioned before by me, he was the son of the priest who used to work in the biggest temple in Rameshwaram. They had different religious backgrounds and upbringing. They never felt any difference among themselves. They adopted different professions when they grew up. So all these 4 friends, they were from different backgrounds, they had different religions, and they were brought up in different ways, but they never thought that they were different from each other. They thought they are equal and just like each other. When they grew up, they had chosen different professions for themselves. One day, when Abdul was in 5th standard at the Rameshwaram Elementary School, a new teacher came to their class. He used to wear a cap. It set him apart as a Muslim. So, when he was in the 5th standard, in his school, a new teacher had come to their class and he used to wear a cap. Muslims wear either white or black caps. So he was wearing that, and it showed that he was a Muslim. Kalam always sat in the first row next to Ramananda Shastri, but the teacher could not tolerate a Hindu priest's son sitting with a Muslim boy. Kalam was asked to sit on the back bench. Both the friends felt very sad and told their parents about the incident after school. So because this new teacher had come, he saw that Ramananda was sitting with Kalam. Now Ramananda was a son of a Hindu priest and Kalam was a Muslim, so the teacher used to tell Kalam to sit at the back. Now the friends were very sad because they could not sit together, so they went back home and told their parents about what had happened in the school. Further, Ramananda's father called the teacher and told him not to spread the poison of communal hatred and social inequality in the minds of innocent children. He told the teacher to either apologize or leave the school and city. The teacher apologized and reformed himself. So, the priest Ramananda, his father, had called the school and he spoke to the teacher and told him that everybody is equal no matter whatever their religion is. You are not going to spread hatred and teach the little kids this thing in the class. So you can either leave the school and the city or you apologize. So the teacher had apologized for his behavior and everything was back to normal. Once, Abdul's science teacher invited him to dinner at his home. His wife refused to serve Kalam dinner in her kitchen as she believed in religious segregation. So now, one fine day, Abdul was invited at his science teacher's house for dinner, and the science teacher's wife, she refused to serve food to Kalam in the kitchen because of some religious stuff, maybe because they had different religions. The teacher himself served him food and sat beside him to eat his own meal. The teacher was very kind. He respected all religions. So, because his wife did not serve food for Kalam, he did that and he sat with Kalam and they both ate. His wife observed from behind the door and did not find any change in Abdul's behavior. After dinner, the teacher again invited him to join them next weekend. So, the wife had seen that her husband had served meal to Kalam and there was no change in Kalam's behavior. So after the dinner happened, the teacher had told Abdul Kalam to join them for dinner again next week. This time, the wife served food inside the kitchen with her own hands. The Second World War ended. Kalam asked his father to permit him to go to Ramanthapuram to study. So next week, when Abdul Kalam went to his science teacher's house for dinner, the wife had herself served dinner to him, and after that the Second World War had ended, and then Kalam had requested his father, took permission from him to go to some other place for his further studies. His father knew that Kalam would have to go away to grow up, and so he permitted him. So Kalam's father was very practical. He thought that obviously once the child grows up, he has to go to different place and far away from parents to study and achieve great heights in life. So he gave permission to him. He told his hesitant wife that they should give their children their love but not force their thoughts on them. So finally, Abdul Kalam's father told his wife that I know you are not willing to send the child far away, but we should always respect their thoughts and we should always guide them, we should love them. We should not force our decisions on the children. So on a positive note, the chapter had ended, and that's it about Abdul Kalam's life in this chapter. I hope all of you have understood. Now please open your books and read the chapter line by line. If there is any doubt, you can clear. So thank you so much for your patience, all of you. That's it for the video.